The trailer for Transformers 1 launched yesterday, and there's been quite a bit of fallout. Articles have come out. You see article right here. First Transformers 1 trailer gets roasted for childish MCU tone. But that is not necessarily a majority opinion. And if you look at the trailer right here, look at the reactions. 88,000 upvotes, 20,000 downvotes. And the one that I selected comes from Paramount Pictures. This trailer's been posted a couple different places. So I picked the one with the most views. Over 7 million views yesterday on this trailer. So obviously, Transformers is still in demand. Now, as a fan of the original show, I'm struggling with this one a little bit. I released a video yesterday that you see right here. This is my video, and 7,000 views. I'm happy with that. 348 likes, 78 downvotes, and you know I'm gonna look at the reactions, some of the reactions to it, some of the criticism, and you know some of the things I agree with. Some of it was extremely harsh. You know, I never meant to say or imply rather that you're wrong if you love this movie, if you think this is good. That, you know, this shouldn't be Transformers for anyone. I am not saying that. If you are digging the trailer and you're excited about it, then I'm genuinely happy for you. It's just not for me. It's Transformers of a different breed for myself. But that's just me. The director has actually had an interview released, and he talks about some of the things that we had issues with. Many fans had issues with the comedic take, all of the comedy in the trailer. You know, in the Q&A here with Josh Cooley and IGN, you know, he talks about how why they went the route that they did with the CGI instead of 2D animation. How the characters don't have faceplates, and an interesting thing, he said that they haven't earned their faceplates yet. But one thing that I want to look at here, the question is, I think when talking about Transformers 1, a lot of people look back to Transformers the movie, and he's talking about Transformers the movie 1986, the only animated feature film in Transformers, you know, so far, until September 20th. And the question says, since that was the last animated Transformers movie, is Transformers 1 taking inspiration from that movie at all, or any other particular Transformers media? And the answer from Josh Cooley is an interesting one. He says, well, not specifically that film or any other film, except for the fact that they're the same characters. When I joined, I read the script. I was like, oh, this is an origin story on the planet, which is very cool. I've never seen that before. Then Hasbro gave me the Bible of Transformers, which is, here's the entire timeline. I didn't realize that all we've seen in film is only this tiny bit of this gigantic story. Being that we were telling the beginning of the story that we were never seen on film before was really exciting to me, so there was nothing that we could borrow from the other films except for the fact that they are the same characters. We're just backing up at the timeline and going, who were they before they became what we know? Now, as an original G1 Transformers fan who grew up with it in the 1980s, this was a little disappointing for me, but I understand it. It's disappointing for me. I'm talking only me. I wish that he had taken the original G1 cartoon. I wish Michael Bay had done that instead of giving us Transformers of a different flavor. And by the way, I'm not a fan of the Michael Bay series. But if you want to talk Transformers Generation 1, Seasons 1, 2, 3, the movie, love them. I love them. And I struggled with it as a kid with Season 3, when all of my heroes that I grew up with and loved were killed off for new Transformers. But I still loved the show. Another thing that I thought was interesting is this. Going back to the trailer, I was almost a little surprised about how lighthearted it was. Is this movie more targeted towards younger audiences? That was a lot of the fallout from yesterday's trailer reaction. That's one major issue that I had with it. It was just too comedic. didn't feel like Transformers. Not that the original Transformers didn't have comedy, because it certainly did. Josh Cooley, the director, says, I would say that we set out to make a film that's for everyone because it's an origin story. It was like, I want to make a movie not just for fans, but for everyone. You don't need to know anything about Transformers. You can start watching this film and enjoy it. That being said, in the trailer, we showcase a lot of comedy because we were having so much fun with these characters and with these actors that it just naturally made its way into the film. Optimus and Megatron become enemies. And so I wanted to make sure that the audience fell in love with them as brothers, as friends early on. By the end of this film, there's some serious stakes, and there's the same amount of action and adventure that you come to expect from a Transformers film. It has that fun, light tone to it, but then it gets very real as well. So I think that's a good answer. I think that's what the majority of us would want. You know, you wouldn't want slapstick the entire time. And I did read many of your comments on my video from yesterday saying the movie's going to take on a more serious tone as it goes. This trailer's really showcasing, early on. Well, I understand that. I totally understand that. But, a trailer is supposed to get you excited for a movie, and that trailer didn't quite work for me. Now, our friends over at That Park Place released this article here, John Trent. First Transformers 1 trailer gets roasted for childish MCU tone. He says, according to Hasbro and Paramount, the film tells the untold origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron, better known as sworn enemies, but once were friends, bonded like brothers who changed the fate of Cybertron forever. Now, one of the issues that fans have is, if you go back to the Aerial Bots episode from Season 2, many people have talked about it, the first time we got to see Orion Pax, when Alpha Trion rebuilt him into Optimus Prime. And we see Optimus Prime for the first time, in the setting. That story has already been told in Transformers. This story is of a much different flavor. It's a different story altogether. But we also know that this story is not Transformers canon. This is just an animated movie with Transformers, but it is not official Transformers canon. So they can do whatever they want to do. So it's an interesting take. It's kind of like one of those bizarro episodes from Seinfeld, if you guys remember that. But the article here goes on to talk about how it was divisive. Fans were unhappy, and they roasted it online for the childish MCU tone, all of the jokes and things. Now, a little bit about myself, I grew up in the 80s. I was 5 years old when Transformers came out in 84. It was my cartoon, and it still is today. I still from time to time watch the original Transformers series. I could watch any episode from season 1 at any time. I love them all, every single one of them. As a matter of fact, I'm really looking forward to the Transformers 40th anniversary at my local theater. I'm going to go get to see, with some channel friends, the first 4 episodes, the table reading with Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, who played Megatron in the original series. I'm going to get to go watch that, and I'm really looking forward to it because it's going to be magic. But looking at some of the comments here on my video yesterday, man, it is like, wow. The way that people have responded is very unfortunate. And again, I want to say it on the outset, I didn't mean to offend anyone in my video yesterday, but I'm not taking back my opinion. This is not something that I'm excited about. I thought the trailer was bad, but, my God, it's only been one trailer and people are already saying this franchise is destroyed. Calm the F down. I didn't say that in my video. I don't think Transformers is destroyed at all. One of the points that I made was, it's unfortunate that we just got the news that the live-action Transformers G.I. Joe crossover movie is actually happening, and days later, we have this slapstick, comedic Transformers trailer, and it just kind of took me out of it. But I'm definitely not saying that the franchise is dead. It's far better right now to me than Star Wars. It's way better than G.I. Joe. So Transformers is doing just fine. I will say that. This comment here, I personally love the trailer. Also, apparently, the first part of the film is supposed to be comedic, but the second half is supposed to turn very dark. Now, for that reason alone, that might be worth a watch. I could get into that. So I appreciate the comment there. And at the time, I didn't know that. I just reacted to the trailer. The trailer definitely doesn't give you that impression. So I hope he's right. Transformers always had serious undertones. They quoted me. And then they say, please say anything that was series in G1 before the 1986 film. There was actually plenty, especially in season 1. The first season of the original Transformers animated series in 1984 did have some serious moments. Although it was primarily aimed at children and often featured a lot of action and humor. We know that. However, with the context of the battles between the Autobots and Decepticons, there were moments that explored themes of loyalty, sacrifice, the consequences of war, betrayal. Think about Grimlock and War of the Dinobots. Characters faced dilemmas and challenges that occasionally touched on a deeper emotional and moral issue, adding depth to the storyline beyond just being a simple action, cartoon, or slapstick comedy. The original Transformers cartoon, though, did have a decent amount of humor, often injected through the interactions between various Autobots and Decepticons. Normally, the humans weren't that funny. Much of the humor was lighthearted and aimed at entertaining the younger audience, which was me, with elements of slapstick, puns, witty banter among the characters. Some characters were specifically designed to provide comic relief, such as the bumbling Autobot Wheelie in Season 3, or the cowardly Decepticon Starscream. Overall, while the series did have serious moments, humor played a prominent role in keeping the tone light and engaging for viewers of all ages. In my opinion, it did a really good job of transitioning back and forth between serious and fun, over and over again. And I guess what I'm saying is, in the trailer that we got yesterday, I didn't see the transition to serious. And that's what it was missing for me. All that being said, thank you very much for watching our video today. Let me know in the comments what you think. I will be watching the movie. I am going to check it out. It's Transformers after all, so I want to see what it's going to be. I want to see what it's all about. And maybe, just maybe, I'm wrong. Maybe I'll walk away loving it. I'm eating crow right now with X-Men 97. I thought the show was going to be trash, and I'm actually really loving it. Thanks for being here. We are You Are Echo Base Network. Now, transform and roll out. See you on the next one.